Hello, this is the Bard. Welcome to my first ever unboxing video. Because I've played Dungeons and Dragons my whole life, and I've been into Magic the Gathering since October 2023, I've decided to invest in all of the Dungeons and Dragons decks, the Forgotten Realms decks and the Baldur's Gate decks. So I've recently purchased all 8, and I've had to patiently wait for all my sleeves to come in. So we got my usual black sleeves here, and I go for the professional inner sleeves with the smoked backs. Perfect fit, love these. We got a ton of these. We got 10. Is it 10 or 8? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We got 10 because they work out at half price when you buy them for 10, which is pretty good because it gets very expensive otherwise. Now we've got 8 decks to sleeve. And you may be asking yourself, why have we only got 5 of these? Oh, I hope they're alright. That's arrived a bit damaged. It's the new minimum packaging they've got. No boxes, just wrapped in plastic. Okay. And if you hear a chewing noise, that's just my dog getting excited. Okay. So, let's get one of these ready. Put the rest to one side. We got our new overhead gadget, so forgive me if it's a bit wobbly first time with it. I'm very impressed with it though. But yeah, the reason we didn't need more than that, we basically have 200 of these personalised ones. Yes, with my logo on. Lovely jubbly. And because I'm a Buffy fan, why not? I saw them on sale, thought I had to have them. So with 2 sets of them, a set of them, and 5 sets of these, we'll manage to sleeve all 8 decks. We're not going to do them all in one video, we're just going to do them one at a time. And we are going to start with these bad boys. These are from the Forgotten Realms decks, and this is Dungeons of Death Commander deck. Here we go. My first professional deck. I've only had starter decks and 1 pioneer deck up till now, although I'm leaps ahead on Magic the Gathering Online. Okay, there's the important bit. The rest is packaging, I think, pretty much. So if it can come out safely. Do you know what? I'm going to leave that over here, I think. Just get to the important stuff. The actual cards. Okay. Nice little inner deck box there, if you like that sort of thing. Okay. Let's go back in there. Whether I use these or not, I always keep them. But unlikely, because I like the magnetic cases. Ah, good, needed this because I'm going to be joining my local game shop's Commander night soon. Look at that. Who packaged that? Wizards of the Coast? Honestly, look, imperfection, do not like that. Oh my god. Okay, information on the deck and some commander rules. Lovely stuff. Okay, I want to focus on getting these cards opened and sleeved. So I like to have the patience of the saint waiting for these. Come back to these. Let's get the main deck opened. This is quite a tricky camera rig I'm using because the rig blocks half the screen, so this is going to be tricky. I shall manage. I'm fully media trained. Wow, okay. Right. Let's get a bit organised here. Oh, they're so slippy when they're new, especially a full commander deck. I've never had a full commander deck before. Right. Let's get these lovely inner sleeves going. What I do, fold that sticky bit back so it doesn't interfere and you don't get any sticky bits on your fingers, because the last thing you want is something sticky on your cards, especially before you sleeve it. These are always a bit trickier to open. There we go. The rolling technique seems to work for me. Just roll your finger back and forth and eventually it pulls itself off. Okay. Which side? Flip them over. They always do that. I'm going to have to do this. It really annoys me. Every single deck, it's like, to me, they're put in backwards. Because I like the clear side away from the lid. Thank you very much. So I can do that when I'm sleeping. It really is helpful. Okay. So, right, excuse my funny hand movements. I've got a disabled hand. I was attacked very badly in my youth. So I literally cannot feel hardly anything in that half of the hand. So my ring finger became more my index finger, and my nails need cutting. I'm autistic. I forget things. I get focused on my passions like this. There we go. Hope that's good and visible. Immovable rod. Artifact. You may choose not to untap immovable rod during your untap step. Whenever immovable rod becomes untapped, venture into the dungeon. 3 mana, tap for as long as immovable rod remains tapped. Another target permanent loses all abilities and can't attack or block. Now, if I remember correctly, all these smoky backs look weird under this light. I'm not used to seeing it like this. I've got the light angled so it's not affecting my eyes, because otherwise I wouldn't be able to make this video being on the Spectrum. I'm so sensitive to light. Okay. I always give them a flex first each way. You put the open bottom bit in. That's why you start upside down, because you finish with these. So I get in the flow once I get going. There we go. Perfect sleeve. Okay, that's one down. Let's stack these. I don't know. That'll do. Off camera, so I don't end up knocking them over. Right, next we have Radiant Solar. Creature, Angel. Flying, lifelink. Whenever Radiant Solar or another non-token creature enters the battlefield under your control, venture into the dungeon. Enter the first room or advance to the next room. 1 mana, discard Radiant Solar, venture into the dungeon, and you gain 3 life. Turn it down a bit in the background. Hang on. Move. Don't worry, YouTube, that's my music, so you don't have to mute this video. I made that myself. I'll upload it onto my shop if people want to buy it, but this is one of my mega mixes. I made 2 in my DJ days. This is the mellow one called Transcendence, and I made a really dark one called The Horror. That's my music, one extreme or the other. Okay. Let's get Radiant Solar in there. I'm not going to bother reading out the mana and the 3/6, etc. That's just obvious. Okay. Get in there, come on. Here we go. It's quite a process, this. So, number 3, Revivify. Instant. Roll a d20 and add the number of creature cards in your graveyard that were put there from the battlefield this turn. 1 to 14, return all creature cards in your graveyard that were put there from the battlefield this turn to your hand. 15 plus, return those cards from your graveyard to the battlefield. Very nice. That's better. I'll get in the flow with these cards soon. When I get going, I'll do it in milliseconds. If I don't have to read out each card, obviously. You get in the flow and you get it really fast. I can normally deck box in, I don't know, 20 minutes, I think. Okay. Thorough investigation. Enchantment. Whenever you attack, investigate, create a colorless clue artifact token with 2 mana, sacrifice this artifact, draw a card. Whenever you sacrifice a clue, venture into the dungeon, enter the first room or advance to the next room. I got these the right way out. I'll get into the flow eventually. Thank you to all the other helpful YouTubers who've made really helpful videos on how to sleeve cards, because when you first do it, it's quite daunting, especially with magic cards, because these are quite valuable. A bit like modern day baseball cards, I guess. Ooh, onto the blue. Okay. Arcane Endeavor. It looks beautiful, this card. Sorcery. Roll 2d8 and choose 1 result. Draw cards equal to that result. Then you may cast an instant or sorcery spell with mana value less than or equal to the other result from your hand without paying its mana cost. To get your head around that one. Late at night when dreams touch a studious mind, bouts of inspiration strike. Indeed. Okay. Another one bites the dust. Okay. Oh, this is a curious one. Interesting. Min Willy Illusionist. That's a funny name, isn't it? Legendary creature named wizard. Whenever you draw your second card each turn, create a 1/1 blue illusion creature token. With this creature gets +1/+0 for each other illusion you control. Whenever an illusion you control dies, you may put a permanent card with mana value less than or equal to the creature's power from your hand onto the battlefield. There's our first legendary creature we've come across now. Okay. Sometimes you get these turning up at the edges, which makes it a little bit trickier, but you still get in. There we go. Come on. So we've got 800 cards to go through. Obviously not all in this video. Today we're going to do 100 plus this little extra. I imagine it's tokens and you get the extra thick commander card. I might invest in some specialist commander boxes at some point, but not at the moment. Literally going month to month. Had to do 1 month, bought the cards. I can't believe I bought them all in 1 month. And then had to wait the next month to buy the sleeves. So, thankfully, I'm a very patient person. Next, Phantom Seed. Ooh. Creature, Horse Illusion. That's a beautiful card. Who's the artist? Let's give this guy credit. Brian, if I can read this. Have a look on the actual camera. Vaiza, no. I can't pronounce your name. Vaiza or Visa. Brian Vaiza, that's it. Got to give you credit, Brian, for your art. It's beautiful. I've asked my brother-in-law to apply to Magic because he's the best artist I know by a mile, and he's definitely up to their standards. So I hope he does. Anyway, creature, Horse Illusion, Flash. When Phantom Steed enters the battlefield, exile another target creature you control until Phantom Steed leaves the battlefield. Whenever Phantom Steed attacks, create a tapped and attacking token that's a copy of the exiled creature except it's an illusion in addition to its other types. Sacrifice that token at end of combat. Wow, these cards are going to take some learning. Blimey. I've already started digitally cataloguing them. I've got 50% of them digitally catalogued. What I do, I started off doing, if you don't do this when you start your collection, you'll never do it. I've spoken to other Magic players who wish they'd started it, and they've just got too many cards and it'd be impossible now. So I started cataloguing as soon as I started buying them. So first of all, I tried word processing, yeah, but then you don't have a visual reference. So I went through these different websites to find one I could download reliable digital image of each card. Even if you don't get the current artwork, you get a card with that, with actual stats on, the important bit. And I was very surprised. I went on MTV Goldfish and all the big ones like that. But I found the most reliable website just for doing that, getting digital pictures of each card, because a lot of the other sites have missing cards. This one I have never ever found yet. Excuse me, I'm changing my sitting position. Never ever found a missing card on there, and it's mtg.wtf. That's mtg.wtf. Amazing site. So what I do now, I go on there, type in the card, or just copy and paste it from Wizards of the Coast, which is a lot easier to do. Bit of cheating there, speeds things up. So you copy the card name there, double check it's the same card, and then just download that, and then attach whatever attributes you want to it. So at the moment, I'm just doing colours and the name of the card, and if it's legendary. But later on, I'm going to go into each of the aspect, whether it's an artifact, an instant, etc. And then you can just type in the search, black or instant black, whatever. Boom, all your cards will come up instantly. So that's the way I'm doing it. I guess being on the spectrum helps. We are great organisers. Okay. Sleeved this before I read it, didn't I? Okay, that looks quite nice sleeved as well. Artifact. Whenever a player casts an instant or sorcery spell, exile it instead of putting it into graveyard as it resolves. With any color, mana, and tap to sacrifice Rod of Absorption, you may cast any number of spells from among cards exiled with Rod of Absorption with total mana value X or less without paying their mana costs. Okay. Next. Yeah, I only got to flip these over. That's going to be more helpful. Yes, that's better. Right. Yeah, I'm going to sleeve them first, I think. I do not like magic cards literally even being out in the air for a few seconds. So I'm going to feel much more comfortable sleeving them first, because they look quite good on camera. I was surprised. I have to get the right angle with this light on this rig. Otherwise, you just get glare. But it's pretty good. I'm pretty impressed with it. It wasn't very expensive. Okay. Grave Endeavor. This is a creepy looking card. Look at this beauty. Instant. Roll 2d10 and choose one result. Return a creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield with a number of +1/+1 counters on it equal to that result. Then each opponent loses X life and you gain X life, where X is the other result. Not alive, not dead, but definitely furious. That is a powerful card. Wow. I like that a lot. Next. Oh, again, great artwork. Beautiful. Yeah, some of this music in the background will sound a bit funny to some ears, but I made it literally over a 15-year period from about, oh my God, about early 90s, I guess. Early 90s, late 90s. Oh, I don't know. Somewhere in the 90s to, I don't know, about 2016 when I was on the radio with that. Something like that. It must have been late 90s, about 98. That was it. My brain works eventually. Okay. Wand of Orcus. This is beautiful. I like this. Let's credit this artist, Andrew Marr. At least your name's readable. I'll get some. Hunter, will you not jog the table, please? Thank you. I'll get some bifocal glasses and see if they help, because I think I'm going to need them when I play Magic. Otherwise, I'm going to have to get every player to read their card out. Legendary artifact equipment, Wand of Orcus. Whenever equipped creature attacks or blocks it and zombies you control gain death touch until end of turn. Interesting. Whenever equipped creature deals combat damage to a player, creature that let me restart that again. Whenever equipped creature deals combat damage to a player, create that many 2/2 black zombie creature tokens. Equip 3. Interesting. Ooh. This next card sounds like a scientific experiment. It's called Extract Brain. Lovely. Let's see what it does. Okay. Extract Brain Sorcery. Target opponent chooses X cards from their hand. Look at those cards. You may cast a spell from amongst them without paying its mana cost. No thought is succulent as a secret. No thought is as succulent as a secret. Not if you're on the spectrum. We like truths and we like them out in the open. Imagine how different the world would be if politicians were autistic. There'd be no more corruption, no lies. We'd sort the world out in a week. Anyway, Midnight Pathlighter. Ooh, you're a beauty as well. The artist, I cannot pronounce your name, but hopefully the audience can read it. Midnight Pathlighter. Beautiful. Creature, human, wizard. Creatures you control can't be blocked except by legendary creatures. Whenever one or more creatures you control deal combat damage to a player, venture into the dungeon. Enter the first room or advance to the next room. Another one done. Okay, what do we have here? Wow, that's a Warhammer and a half. Okay. Cataclysmic Gearhulk. What a name. I wonder how many people they've got coming up with these names. Or is it just one guy locked in a room, taking loads of drugs, thinking to himself, yes, come on, brain, work? Or is it one guy just meditating, going into such deep meditation, he creates these things out of pure thought? Who knows the creative process of these guys? I'd be fascinated to know, though. Okay. Cataclysmic Gearhulk. Artifact creature. Construct. Vigilance. When Cataclysmic Gearhulk enters the battlefield, each player chooses an artifact, a creature, an enchantment, and a planeswalker from among the non-land permanents they control. Then sacrifice the rest. Lovely. Ooh, I've heard about this next card. I remember reading about it. Get your sleep. Right. Sometimes you just have to do that. You won't damage them. They're very strong, these dragon cards. They just need a bit of flex to get in there sometimes. There we go. If you want to go in one corner, it'll go in the other. Lovely. Okay. Eternal Dragon. Creature, dragon spirit. Flying. Blimey. 3 mana of any colour and 2 white mana. Return Eternal Dragon from your graveyard to your hand. That's an expensive return. Activate only during your upkeep. Plane cycling. 2 mana of any colour. In brackets, 2, discard this card. Search your library for a planes card. Reveal it. Put it into your hand and shuffle. Nice. Karmic Guide. Oh, this is decks like kind of Zen, isn't it? Kind of Zen and Chaos. It's very curious. It got rated. When the guy's YouTube name comes to me, I'll remember. It got rated by him. I'll tell you when it comes to me. He's my favourite one on Magic the Gathering. I mean, the whole deck got rated very good. You know, not the best commander deck, not the worst. Very interesting. But he did review each individual deck, and they all got high marks. But this deck actually got the lowest. I think he gave it a B, and he gave the others A, or something like that, or C, B, B, A, something I can't remember. And when his name comes back to me, I will give him a free plug. Karmic Guide, creature, angel spirit, flying, protection from black. Echo, 3 mana plus 2 white mana. At the beginning of your upkeep, if this came under your control, since the beginning of your last upkeep, sacrifice it unless you pay its echo cost. When Karmic Guide enters the battlefield, return target creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield. Excuse me, I've got a sip of coffee and get a dry throat. Oh, that's better. Okay, we're nearly halfway there. Who's next? Oh, we're nearly at the end of this white bit. They're kind of mixed up in batches. We've got a bit of white, a bit of blue. The last 2 white cards, and we got a bit more blue. Sun Titan. Whoop. Got that one upside down, haven't we? Hockey donkey. Right. See if I can hold this as steady as possible. I shall get better and better at this, hopefully. Sun Titan. Creature, giant, vigilant. Whenever Sun Titan enters the battlefield or attacks, you may return target permanent card with mana value 3 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield. A blazing sun that never sets. Lovely. And last in his white batch again, we have an angel. Very interesting looking angel. Jason Chan, nice artwork. Oop, got that one upside down. Maybe we should flip them the other way, the way my brain's working at the moment. Okay. Careful not to get anything in with these. Yeah, I did look into getting the non-slip deck backs. There's like swings and roundabouts with each variety. One of the guys I play with has non-slip backs, and their cards are a lot easier to manage, and they don't slip all over the place. However, I found this out thanks to a helpful guy in the comments, and again, I might go back and thank him for this, give him a shout out on here sometime, of one YouTube video. I nearly bought them from the advice of one YouTube video, and I just noticed this guy in the comments saying, important note, one thing to be mindful of. Basically, on those non-grip cards, on the back, these are just the shader box. These are the black classic. So every color has a classic. So it's not matte. Basically, the matte cards, it's not the color. The matte cards are the non-slip cards. So yeah, these are sort of just shiny and just smooth. And the matte ones, they have like a sort of marbling, so it's kind of raised and it's kind of sort of spotted around. It's hard to describe. But apparently, that marbling pattern marks the back of your card. So I'm not having that. Especially not, well, you pay for these cards. I want these to last a lifetime and onto children if I have any. So thank you very much. So I'm sticking with these ones at the moment. Anyway, Sunblast Angel, beautiful card. Flying. When Sunblast Angel enters the battlefield, destroy all tapped creatures. Oh, that is powerful. There may exist powers even greater than Pyrexia. Okay, who's next? Champion of Wits. Okay. Nope, I had it right first time. Autistic brains. They're like a really complicated computer to work with, but once they get going, my God, you can do the job of 100 men at once. Okay. Oh, you're struggling. Come on. Yeah, don't be afraid to push a little bit. The cards are a little bit flexible. These are definitely flexible. Anyway, Champion of Wits. Sorry, I can't pronounce your name even, but your first name is easy to pronounce, and I like your artwork. It's very curious. I like the colouring. Creature, Naga Wizard. When Champion of Wits enters the battlefield, you may draw cards equal to its power. If you do, discard 2 cards. Externalize 5 clear mana, 2 blue mana, in brackets, same again, exile this card from your graveyard, create a token that's a copy of it, except it's a 4/4 black zombie Naga Wizard with no mana cost, eternalize only as a sorcery. That's a mouthful. Curator of Mysteries. Ooh. It's a Sphinx. Wow. Didn't know we had Sphinxes in Magic. That's a new one on me. Oh, I've got an aching back already. Blimey. With this rig, I have to sit up so straight. I'm not used to that. I'm a bit of a sloucher. Most of us. Had this horrible biology teacher when I was at school. We had, every Friday, we had 2 hours of biology, and it was a subject I was interested in, but just I didn't like this teacher. He was just mean. What he used to do, he used to make us sit bolt upright with our backs straight on our stools. We weren't allowed to slouch for the entire 2 hour lesson. If he saw one person slouching, he could give you a detention. But when he gave detentions, he gave a week's worth of detentions. So everyone soon learned to sit bolt upright in his lessons. He said it was for our own good. I'm sure that's what he thought. Correcting our back posture, being a biology teacher, but it was bloody agony and exhausting. There you go. Just proves how bad our postures are. Oh, I didn't even read out this Sphinx, did I? Right. Creature of Mysteries. Christopher Choi, I think it is. Yep, I think so. Okay, Creature of Mysteries. Creature, Sphinx, flying. Whenever you cycle or discard another card, scry 1. Cycling, discard this card. From 1 blue mana, draw a card. To consult a Sphinx is a test in patience. Perhaps that's the point. Okie dokie. Oh. Final blue in this spurt, and then we're on to some black. How many colours are in this deck? White, blue, and black. Blimey. I have never played Commander in my life. However, I had my first game of Brawl the other day, thanks to my friend Tony's advice. How you doing, Tony? And I thoroughly enjoyed it. Even though I lost, I had a very good game. I really did enjoy it. So it's given me a taste of Commander, because Brawl is, if you've never played it, it's 100 card player against player on Magic the Gathering Arena online. So it's the closest thing to Commander they've got. Obviously, Commander's the same, but with usually 4 players. So yeah, out of sleeve, don't I? There we go. This video is certainly going to be a lot longer than I thought, but I had no idea how long it's going to take. I've seen a couple of other people do unboxing videos. I'm very impressed by them. I'll give them shout outs on later dates as well, because I like their stuff. And it's really helped me educate my choices of which cards to buy. So I'm really appreciative of those YouTubers. Make sure I make no mistakes in which cards I buy. Excuse me. Okay. And I just realised I missed the last card as well. I'll get back to him. Okay. Here we go. Phantasmal Image. You may have Phantasmal Image enter the battlefield as a copy of any creature on the battlefield, except it's an illusion in addition to its other types, and it has, when this creature becomes a target of a spell or ability, sacrifice it. Curious. So we can go straight on to Doomed Necromancer. Hello. Creature, human cleric mercenary. Wow, 3 creature types at the same time. I think that's the first time I've seen that as well. So with 1 black mana, tap, sacrifice, Doomed Necromancer, return target creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield. Many necromancers share the same last words, the ones that conclude the underneath ritual. Right, I think I'm going to start a second pile so they don't fall over. This is what I mean. I might buy one of those holders. I think that's the solution if you're going to play Commander with these type of sleeves, because They do a bit slippery. They're fine for a 60 card deck. Well, I found they're a bit hard to handle first, even with a 60 card deck, but got used to that now. I may get used to it. We'll see how we go. There's a curious looking creature. Necromantic Selection. Okay. Necromantic Selection. Sorcery. Destroy all creatures, then return a creature card put into a graveyard this way to the battlefield under your control. It's a black zombie in addition to its other colours and types. Exile Necromantic Selection. It's shambled from the cloud of ash and bone dust, undeterred by its own extinction. Curious. Very curious. Okay. Ashen Rider, creature, Archon. Ooh. Black and white. Blimey, this is a complicated deck. And of course, for those who don't know, I presume most people do if you're watching this video, in Commander, the only duplicates you can have are standard land, as far as I'm aware. That's why every single card's different. It's very different to normal Magic the Gathering. I love the fact that Commander was created by the players, and it was loved so much. The Wizards of the Coast had no choice but to implement it, even though they really didn't want to. Ashen Rider. Oh, you're a beauty. Chris Rahn, I believe. Chris Rahn, I think. Ashen Rider. I love your artwork. Creature, Archon, flying. When Ashen Rider enters the battlefield or dies, exile target permanent. One offering to appease her on her arrival, another to celebrate her departure. Lovely. Next we have Baleful Strix. Baleful Strix. Let's get it right. Baleful Strix. That being owl then. Oh, just spied my first pirate out the corner of my eye there. Okay. Baleful Strix. Bird. Artifact creature. Flying. Death touch. We like a bit of death touch. When Baleful Strix... Oh, let's get center camera here. When Baleful Strix enters the battlefield, draw a card. Oh, that's nice. Its beak rends flesh and bone, exposing the tender marrow of dream. Lovely. Hostage Taker. Yep, blimey. This is long. My album's just gone to loop itself. I think it's just going to let it loop. It's just the best thing for background music because there'll be no copyright strikes on it because it's mine. Because I made every single track. Okay. I made hundreds of tracks. Okay. Right. Hostage Taker. Creature, human pirate. When Hostage Taker enters the battlefield, exile another target creature or artifact until Hostage Taker leaves the battlefield. You may cast that card for as long as it remains exiled, and you may spend mana as though it were mana of any type to cast that spell. Next we have Utter End. I like the name of that card. Let's see what mechanics it's got. Actually, my favourite card out of every Magic the Gathering I've ever played. And in a standard deck, if I have a black deck or a black and white deck or a black and anything deck really, I always have 4 of these cards in there. I buy a mile, my favourite Magic card. It's simply called Murder. It just destroys anything. Very powerful, a little bit expensive, but so worth it. Can get you out of some really tricky situations when you've got a really powerful creature who just won't go away. Anyway, let's see what this is. This is an instant, utter end. Exile target non-land permanent. Ah. I came seeking a challenge, all I found was you. Zurgo Khan of the Mardu. Let's get it right. Okay. Ooh. Solemn Simulacrum. Interesting. I do like that art. Can we pronounce your name? Donato Giancola, I believe. Apologies if I pronounced that wrong, but I like your artwork. So it made me laugh when I first set this rig up and put the camera on. It was on photo first of all, and it instantly went off on facial recognition on these faces, which is hilarious. Oh dear. Okay. Right. Solemn Simulacrum. I said it perfectly first time. Solemn Simulacrum. No, Simulacrum. Solemn Simulacrum. I'm sure that's not how you pronounce it. Anyway, artifact creature golem. When Solemn Simulacrum, that's better, Simulacrum, when Solemn Simulacrum enters the battlefield, you may search your library for a basic land card, put that card onto the battlefield tapped, then shuffle. When Solemn Simulacrum dies, you may draw a card. That's going to draw a barrel full of laughs at any card game. Just people trying to pronounce the card, I think. Ah, we're on to a land. Choked Estuary, lovely. It is random how they just put them together in spats. Like, they're kind of ordered, and then that order's kind of broken up. It's bizarre. That was a really tight fit, that one. Went in there very smoothly, though. Curious. Okay. Choked Estuary, land. As Choked Estuary enters the battlefield, you may reveal an island or swamp card from your hand. If you don't, Choked Estuary enters the battlefield tapped. Nice artwork, Vincent Prose. Beautiful. I love the background, especially those clouds and the light dappling through them. Wow, nice. Okay. Next, we have another speciality land, Darkwater Catacombs. It'll get in eventually. Got to have patience doing this. If you ain't got patience, you shouldn't really be a Magic player. Unless you just want to play red aggro, I guess. Right. Darkwater Catacombs. Lovely. Land. 1 mana of any colour. Tap. Add 1 blue, 1 black. Oh, that's quite powerful. Underdark flooding has swallowed ancient drow burial chambers, which are now haunted and infested with oozes. Lovely. That's nasty. What the hell's an ooze? I don't even know what an ooze is yet. Oh, exotic orchard. Beautiful, lovely. Oh, there's a legendary land coming up after this one. I like the look of that. Okay. That's more like it. Right. Exotic orchard land. Tap. Add 1 mana of any colour that a land an opponent controls could produce. It was a strange morning. When we awoke, we found our trees transformed. We didn't know whether to water them or polish them. Hulan Bant. Orchardist. Artwork by Stephen. I'm not going to try and pronounce your surname, mate. Okay. I love the look of this card. It's beautiful. Artwork by Cliff Childs, I think, if I read that correctly. It's quite hard to read. Okay. Alrighty then. Greer Reach Sanitarium, legendary land. Add 1 mana of any colour. And if you put in 2 mana of any colour and tap, each player draws a card, then discards a card. All are welcome. Ooh, that's curious. A card that can be used to help out everyone else if you so decide. That'll make you a popular player, wouldn't it? Interesting. Oh, there's lots of special lands here. Here we have High Market. Now, this card I have heard of. I have researched these decks intensely before I bought them, but obviously I can't remember all 800 cards. I'm not that kind of autistic. I do have a photographic memory, but it takes time and repetition to work sometimes. All of us seem to have photographic memory of trauma, sadly. Completely. With other things, it depends. Some things I can remember instantly, some things I will have to train my brain to remember. Just depends on the situation. Okay. High Market. Land. Tap. Add mana of any colour. Tap. Sacrifice a creature. You gain 1 life. If it can't be had here, it can't be had on any world. Ooh. Okay then. Very bright artwork, Carl. Lots and lots of specialist land. Alrighty then. This is Nimbus Maze. Land. Tap. Add mana of any colour. Tap. Add white. Activate only if you control an island. Tap. Add blue. Activate only if you control the plains. To find its centre is to find one's own. Very zen. Nimbus Maze. Next up, we've got Port Town. Port Town land. As Port Town enters the battlefield, you may reveal a plains or island card from your hand. If you don't, Port Town enters the battlefield tapped. Tap, add white or blue. Next up, we have Prairie Stream. Oh, imagine if my brother-in-law got to become a magic artist, then I could one day unbox his card and read it out for my audience. That'd be amazing. No pressure, Daz. I think that would be your dream job. And I think you should just keep hammering on their door until they let you in. Right. Just keep sending them your artwork. They'll soon accept you, mate. It's amazing. Right. Prairie Stream. Land. Plains. Island. Tap. Add white or blue. Prairie Stream enters the battlefield tapped unless you control 2 or more basic lands. The continent of Ondu is a vast plateau crisscrossed by deep trenches and meandering rivers. I like those floating islands. Adam, I'm not going to pronounce your second name because I can't. So a nice sip of coffee. Cold coffee at this point. It's better than a kick in the teeth, though, that's for sure. Right. Sunken Hollow. Okay. Sunken Hollow, land, island, swamp, tap, add blue or black. Sunken Hollow enters the battlefield tapped unless you control 2 or more basic lands. On the continent of Tazim, rushing waters plunged through narrow canyons into mist-cloaked lakes. Lovely. That's beautiful artwork. It looks very tricky to pull off as well, Adam. Thank you. What's next? Okay, we've got through those lands. Now we've got an aura. Minimus containment. Looks like when they put the Superman villains in that floating giant mirror, but this looks more like D&D dice. I quite like the look of this card. It's curious. I've seen this before somewhere. Okay. Minimus containment. Enchantment aura. Enchanted non-permanent. Enchanted permanent is a treasure artifact with tap, sacrifices artifact, add 1 mana of any color, and it loses all other abilities. If it was a creature, it's no longer a creature. Okay. I might have to make a third pile. These are getting quite big now once they're sleeved. I don't want them slipping all over the floor. Okay. Next up, we've got a legendary creature. Hamapasha Ruin Seeker. Okay. You never see all this tiny bits of fluff normally, but under this speciality light, you see everything. Okay. Eric Deschamps, I think. Anyway, Eric, I like your artwork. Hammer, Pasha, Ruin Seeker, legendary creature, human wizard. Room abilities of dungeons you own trigger an additional time. That is powerful. If you see, wait till you see the dungeon cards, you'll know what I'm talking about. Someone took the time to carve these inscriptions. The least we can do is care enough to read them. Interesting. Ooh, talking of the dungeon cards, we have a dungeon map. Oh, that music couldn't have kicked in at a better time, could it? DJing with my mind. Okay. Sorry, Hunter, you've got food in your bowl. I'm not getting up to get you chews in the middle of a video. No chance, mate. Okay. Dungeon map. Artifact. Tap. Add 1 colourless mana. 3 colourless mana. Tap. Venture into the dungeon. Activate only as a sorcery. Enter the first room or advance to the next room. Wait, is that a secret door? I can't tell for sure. There's some blood in the way. Curious. Okay. The old Evolving Wilds, my least favourite land. I never play them. I've just got stacks of them in a box. All my starter decks. Okay. Evolving Wilds. I've never seen this artwork with Evolving Wilds. So that is, I've got to give the artist credit because that is beautiful. And I can't pronounce your name. Mohammed Turdaus, I think. Hope I got that right. So, sacrifice Evolving Wilds, search your library for a basic land card, put it onto the battlefield, tap, then shuffle. Hearts of Faerun still churn with the magic of arrogant Netherese archmages long dead. I do like the floating island thing. I think last time we saw that in cinema would have been Avatar. When are those new films coming out? We've been waiting forever for them. Someone let me know if I've missed them coming out, because I do miss things sometimes. I never watch mainstream media. So, okay. I know Mr. Cameron was going to make all the remaining films back to back pretty much. I think that's what he ended up doing. I know he was going to make 2 back to back, but I think he ended up doing it of all of them. Anyway, don't quote me on that. That's just what I believe I heard. Okay. Bucknard's Everfall Purse. Oh, very D&D. Artifact. 1 mana. Tap. Roll a d4 and create a number of treasure tokens equal to the result. The player to your right gains control of Bucknard's Everfall Purse. Wow. As long as it's never left empty, this magic pouch produces coins every dawn. There's another one that would make you very popular at the Commander event. Another card that helped every player as it gets passed around to the right. How curious. No magic card like that existed. Clay Golem. Definitely heard of you before, Mr. Clay Golem. Okie dokie. Come on. Get that last bit in there. Thank you. Okay. Come on. Get in there. Right. Clay Golem. Artifact creature Golem. 6 mana. Jesus, that's a lot to save up. Roll a d8 Monstrosity X, where X is the result. If this creature isn't monstrous, put X +1/+1 counters on it, and it becomes monstrous. Berserk. When Clay Golem becomes monstrous, destroy target permanent. Blimey. I think that could potentially be very powerful. Ooh, component pouch. We're getting on to the nitty gritty of the weird wonderfuls here, aren't we? Yes. And who can spot the unicorn in the corner? Oh, that's like a Shire Horse unicorn. Shire Horse was the first horse I ever rode, even correct term. When I was 4 years old, I was put on top of a Shire Horse at a fair, and we had a little trot around. It was huge. I was tiny, but I was fearless of animals, just born with no fear of animals. Animals love me. Okay, component pouch. Artifact. Remove a component counter from a component pouch. Add 2 mana of different colours. Tap, roll a d20. 1 to 9, put a component counter on component pouch. 10 to 20, put 2 component counters on component pouch. Interesting. Ronom Unicorn. That is a bizarre name. Ronom does not flow off the tongue, does it? Ronom. Sounds more like a car engine. Ronom. Oh dear. Okay. Ronom Unicorn. Creature. Unicorn. Sacrifice Ronom Unicorn. Destroy target enchantment. The aberrant magic of the Rimewind, or Rimwind, not sure how you pronounce that, drew the unicorns back from the northern wastes to do battle once again. Okay. We've got an instant coming up. Sword to Plowshares. These decks are not easy to get hold of now, I tell you. They are individually, but they cost a fortune individually. Anyway, we'll get into that in a later video. Sword to Plowshares. Instant. Exile target creature. Its controller gains life equal to its power. The smallest seed of regret can bloom into redemption. Ooh, it's an interesting looking one. I do like me a good wall. I didn't know you got... Any wall I've seen before is a blue wall. I didn't know you can get walls in other colours. That's good to know. They're great for defending, of course, because they usually have 4 block, not much else. But they're nice, cheap early game cards. That's what I like about them. Only 2 mana. There we go. Wall of Omens. Creature, wall, defender. When Wall of Omens enters the battlefield, draw a card. Oh, it gives you a bonus card as well. I search for a vision of Zendikar that does not include the Eldrazi Expedition Journey entry. You can't really go wrong with that card. Very nice. Forbidden Alchemy. Okay. All went really nice and smoothly. Forbidden Alchemy. Instant. Look at the top 4 cards of your library. Put one of them into your hand and the rest into your graveyard. Flashback 6 Mana of any colour and 1 black. You may cast this card from your graveyard for its flashback cost, then exile it. Curious. I've never seen a Merfolk before. Heard about them. Merfolk Looter. You tight fit that one. Okay. Should go smoothly into this then. Yep. Wow. Record time that one. Okay. Merfolk Looter. Creature. Merfolk Rogue. Draw a card, then discard a card. Merfolk don't always know what they're looking for, but they're certain once they find it. There's a Lewis Carroll quote that says, if you don't know where you're going, you're sure to arrive there. Very similar quote. Mull Drifter. Mull Drifter. Mull Drifter. Another word that doesn't really roll off the tongue. Oh, making bones. Okie dokie. Right. Mull Drifter, creature, elemental, flying. When Mull Drifter enters the battlefield, draw 2 cards. Evoke 2. You may cast this spell for its invoke cost. If you do, it's sacrificed when it enters the battlefield. I've got so many mechanics to learn. It's going to take me ages to get my head around everything. What I'll do, I think I'll learn one deck. I'll pick my favourite deck. I'll learn that deck as best as I can. Then I'll go to my first Commander deck, Commander Knight, and try it out. Murder of Crows. Oh, I do like my murder cards. I can't remember. I've come across this online. I can't remember what it does. Just a second. Right. Murder of Crows. Creature, bird, flying. Whenever another creature dies, you may draw a card. If you do, discard a card. That's pretty powerful, potentially. Even more than carrion, they crave the last words of the dying. Lovely. I've seen this card before. Propaganda. Ooh, yeah. Plenty of that about at the moment, that's for sure. Do. You won't be commenting on any of that on this channel, though. Okie dokie. Propaganda. Enchantment. Creatures can't attack you unless their controller pays 2 for each creature they control that's attacking you. Get your head around that. The cost of your opposition will be extracted from your wits. Nekuza, the Mind Razor. I've got a Clint Kiri, I think. Clint, your artwork is amazing. Ooh, I like the sound of that. Plague Crafter. Lovely. There's a guy you want on your side, and not on the other side. Okay, Plaguecrafter, creature, human shaman. When Plaguecrafter enters the battlefield, each player sacrifices a creature or planeswalker. Each player who can't discards a card. My power is generosity, in a way. I give my survivors an appreciation for their lives. Mm. Next up, we have a very curious card. Reassembling Skeleton. Lovely. Right. Creature, Skeleton Warrior. 1 mana and black. Return Reassembling Skeleton from your graveyard to the battlefield tapped. They may show up with the wrong thigh bone or mandible, but they always show up. Zol Asher Vichlord. Lovely. And I think we have to make a fourth pile of cards here. Wow. Okay. We have that many left. However many that is. Whoa. They are so slippy when they're new. Wow. This is a creature I can't even get my head around the look of. Shriekmaw. Growing up with playing Dungeons and Dragons, you think you know all the mythical creatures. Plus, I learnt about mythical creatures as well because I'm a pagan. I've actually got a book of literally actual dictionary of fable creatures, which is curious. All right, Shriekmaw. Creature, elemental, fear. This creature can't be blocked except by artifact creatures and or black creatures. When Shriekmaw enters the battlefield, destroy target non-artifact, non-black creature. Very specific. Evoke 1 non-color mana and 1 black. You may cast this spell for its evoke cost. If you do, it's sacrificed when it enters the battlefield. Next up we have Unburial Rites. And it must be an undead card then, my guess would be Unburial Rites. Curious. That's kind of genius. Okay. Look at that artwork. Ryan Pancoast, I think. Unburial Rites. Sorcery. Return target creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield. Flashback 3 and 1 white. You may cast this card from your graveyard for its flashback cost, then exile it. All crave the blessed sleep. You receive it. I know that feeling. Love the artwork. Ooh, victimize. Yes. I'm always victimized by people for being disabled. It is not on. I don't know what happened to society in the last few years. It's disgusting. Anyway, victimize. Ooh, looks like a bloody Masonic ritual or something, doesn't it? Scary. Alright. Victimize. Sorcery. Choose 2 target artifact cards. Sorry, choose 2 target creature cards in your graveyard Sacrifice a creature. If you do, return the chosen card to the battlefield tapped. Okay, that's pretty powerful considering it's only 3 mana to buy. Die, but die knowing that your pathetic life will yield a great bounty for me. Zalashkar Lord. Oh, now I see. It's like a sacrifice to bring 2 creatures. Nice. When you really get under the surface of Magic cards, they're very dark. Read some of the online stories that Wizards of the Coast produce. They're pretty horrific, actually. But it's a very rich history they create. I'll give them that. Okay, we have Cloudblazer. Creature, human scout, flying. When Cloudblazer enters the battlefield, you gain 2 life and draw 2 cards. Very nice. All the ether charts in the world can't compete with the trained eye of a talented scout. That's a nice card. Dispark. Oh, I like your artwork. Sloromir. Maniac. If I pronounce that correctly, I hope so. Do you like your artwork? Okay. Despark. Instant. Exile target permanent with mana value 4 or greater. Liliana whispered to whatever consciousness Oketra and Bontu had left. You are the gods. He is the usurper. You know what to do. Ooh. Next up we have another beautiful card by Dave Alsop. Okay. Necrotic Sliver. Creature. Sliver. All slivers have 3. Sacrifice this permanent. Destroy target permanent. Okay. Though Volrath is long dead, the slivers have become everything he wanted them to be. Mindless instruments of destruction and despair. Lovely. Ooh, there's a very curious card coming up here. Obsessive Stitcher. It's a tight fit as well. She stitched herself in there good. Righty ho. Lovely. Okay. Obsessive Stitcher. Creature. Human wizard. Draw a card, then discard a card. 2 of any mana, 2 of any colour, 1 blue, 1 black. Tap, sacrifice Obsessive Stitcher, return target creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield. No one is as dedicated to perfection as a Stitcher working on their latest masterpiece. Very curious artwork, Joe. Vanish into memory. Whoa. That is a trippy card. I'm sorry I can't pronounce your name. I can pronounce your surname, Lynn. Oh, it's Rebecca Lynn. She's famous. Just a very unusual spelling of Rebecca. Yes, she's definitely famous. Come on, Daz. Start making magic cards. You'll be famous in the magic community. Okay. Vanish into memory. Instant. Exile target creature. You draw cards equal to that creature's power. At the beginning of your next upkeep, return that card to the battlefield under its owner's control. If you do, discard cards equal to that creature's toughness. Out of sight, out of mind. Oh, I know this card. Okay. Here we have Arcane Signet. Artifact. Add 1 mana of any colour in your commander's colour identity. It started as a mere drop of water, and the magic mirror crystallized it into much more. Ooh. Very bright artwork, Yeong, if I pronounced your name right. Beautiful. Burnished Heart. Heart, I believe, is an old English word for deer. I believe. Don't quote me on that. Burnished Heart. Artifact creature. Elk. 3 mana, sacrifice Burnished Heart. Search your library for up to 2 basic land cards. Put them onto the battlefield, tap, then shuffle. Forged by divine hands to wander mortal realms. Oh, I know this next one as well. This is very famous, I believe. This next card. Especially amongst Commander players, of course. I'm sure it's had many artwork reprints. At least another one of these, I know that. So let's see what card we're talking about. And that would be beautiful artwork by Cliff Childs. Commander Sphere. Artifact. Add 1 mana of any colour in your commander's colour identity. Sacrifice Commander Sphere. Draw a card. The heavens augur. Wheel for me. Woe for you. Curious. Next up we have a stone. Oh yeah, getting quicker at these. Some go smoothly, some don't. Getting towards the end now. Yeah, there's always one, isn't there? There it goes. Okay. Fell Warstone. Artifact. Add 1 mana of any colour that a land an opponent controls can produce. What do you have that I cannot obtain? Mercil the Pretender. Meteor Golem. I got this deck and all the other Adventures of the Realm decks sourced from a guy in Germany. So I'll get your name again. Thank you very much. Give you some business, mate, because I'm really appreciative of these. I know you don't speak English, but I gave you a thank you in German on Google Translate. It really did arrive in perfect condition, all the way from Germany. but they cost me half of what it would have cost to buy the individual decks, and that's the point. Okay. Meteor Golem. Artifact creature. Golem. When Meteor Golem enters the battlefield, destroy target non-land permanent and opponent controls. The impact sent the soldiers scattering. Then something came out of the crater. Ooh. Very bright artwork. Lake, is that your name? Lake Hurwitz, I believe. The artist there. Oh, probably one of the most famous cards in the deck here. The Sol Ring. Okay. Normally when I sleeve cards, I just like put on some headphones, zen out to some music. I find it quite a relaxing zen process. This is very different to filming it, especially reading out the mechanics. Sol Ring, artifact. Tap, add 2 mana of any colour. Lost to time is the artificer's art of tapping light from a distant star in a ring of purest gold. Very well written, that. I like that. Wayfarer's Bauble. Very bright artwork, Thomas. Okay. Wayfarer's Bauble. 2 mana of any colour. Tap, sacrifice Wayfarer's Bauble. Search your library for a basic land card. Put that library onto the battlefield tapped. Then shuffle. Druids hold certain plants to be sacrificed and use their leaves and wood as a spellcasting focus. Lovely. And unbelievably, we're going to have to make a 5th pile of cards, or even better at this point, I think I'm going to have to put them into one of my magical boxes here. Or we're going to run out of room on the table, literally. Okay. Because I've got so many things open and going on here. Right, let's... we need to separate that before I put that in there. That will do for now. Right, let's get these in. Carry on. That's better. I know these are safe, and I won't be worrying about that while I'm trying to do the video. Second lot in. Third lot in. And the last lead batch here. Okay. Here we have Arcane Sanctum. Arcane Sanctum does not want to get in the box. Or the sleeve even. Okay. I don't want to go in the sleeve. Yes, you do. No. You're in. Right. Arcane Sanctum. Tricky little beggar. Land. Arcane Sanctum enters the battlefield tapped. Tap, add 1 white, 1 blue, or 1 black. We must rely on our own knowledge, not on the dogma of the seekers of the mutterings of the sphinxes. Tullus of the Palandeus. Wow. Here we have some more land. Azorius Chancery, if I pronounce that correctly. Okay. Azorius Chancery, land. Azorius Chancery enters the battlefield tapped. When Azorius Chancery enters the battlefield, return a land you control to its owner's hand. Tap, add 1 white and 1 blue. Oh, and another famous card here. Command Tower, land. Tap, add 1 mana of any colour in your commander's colour identity. Approach my tower on bended knee or depart from it as ash upon the wind. Gadwick the Wizened. Dimir Aqueduct. More coffee needed. Excuse my slurping, I'm very thirsty. Dimir Aqueduct. Land. Beautiful artwork, actually. John Avon. Dimir Aqueduct enters the battlefield tapped. When Dimir Aqueduct enters the battlefield, return a land you control to its owner's hand. Lovely. Esper Panorama. Oh, that's not what you want to do. Put one in all the way, because you'll never get that bit in right otherwise. That's the way to do it. And again, thank you to all those YouTubers who taught me how to sleeve cards properly. Because I thought I'd learn before I even tried, so I wouldn't muck any up. So I'm very grateful to those people. Okay. Hope this video comes out okay. Here's my first. Any problems, I shall correct them in the next video. Esper Panorama, land, tap, add 1 mana. 1 mana of any colour, tap, sacrifice Esper Panorama, search your library for a basic plains, island or swamp card, put it onto the battlefield tapped, then shuffle. Esper is an expansive canvas painted by precise controlling lands. Yes, France. That must have been really tricky to paint. Segmented clouds. Orzhov Basilica. My Pioneer deck is the Orzhov deck. It's black and white. It's pretty powerful, actually. It's all auras. Orzhov Auras, that's the name of it. Sadly, I didn't have my rig when I got that, so we won't be doing an unboxing on that one. We'll be focusing on all 8 of the Dungeons and Dragons Commander decks, though, in the next videos. It's a lot of them, isn't it? 800 cards, plus the extra cards in each deck. Orzhov Basilica land. Orzhov Basilica enters the battlefield tapped. When Orzhov Basilica enters the battlefield, return a land you control to its owner's hand. Tap, add 1 white and 1 black. Very nice. Terra. Terra. If I can roll the R on that. Sometimes I can, sometimes I can't. Don't think it's happening today. Terramorph Expanse. Okay. Terramorph Expanse. Land. Tap, sacrifice Terramorphic Expanse, search your library for a basic land card, put it onto the battlefield tapped, then shuffle. Take 2 steps north into the unsettled future, south into the unquiet past, east into the present day, or west into the great unknown. Okay. Thriving Health. Yes, we like the name of that. We like the sound of that. Land. Thriving Health enters the battlefield tapped. As Thriving Health enters the battlefield, choose a colour other than white. Tap, add white or 1 mana of the chosen colour. Wildflowers here bloom not with the season, but with the ebb and flow of magic. Yet more speciality land. Thriving Isle. Okay. Thriving Isle land. Thriving Isle enters the battlefield tapped. As Thriving Isle enters the battlefield, choose a colour other than blue. Tap, add blue or 1 mana of the chosen colour. All the wonders of the natural world in one breathtaking microcosm. And nice artwork, Jonas Dero. Next we have Thriving Moor. Okay. Thriving Moor, land. Thriving Moor enters the battlefield tapped. As Thriving Moor enters the battlefield, choose a colour other than black. Tap, add black or 1 mana of the chosen colour. Beauty appears in strange places for those with eyes to see it. I completely agree. It's like the plastic bag in that old film. He's just following with a camera. Actually, if anyone's seen the film about the plastic bag, I'd highly recommend that. It was brilliant. The voiceover guy's genius. I cannot remember his name. It was to highlight how plastic bags end up as giant floating oceans in the sea. But the film was just genius. It gave this plastic bag personality. It was amazing. If I find the title, the proper title of it again, I will mention it. Because everyone should. One of those things everyone should watch at least once. Lighting Greaves. Ooh, this is very D&D. Artifact equipment. Equipped creature has haste and shroud. It can't be the target of spells or abilities. Equip 0. After lightning struck the cliffs, the ore became iron. The iron became steel. The steel became greaves. The lightning never left. Ooh, I like that. I also like colourless cards. I want as many as I can get. Think about it for a minute. How powerful are colourless cards? It doesn't matter what mana you've got on the battlefield, they can all be activated. With whatever colour. That makes them so powerful, of course. Right. I know I'm stating the obvious. Come on, basic planes, get in your box. Right. I think I'm quoting some old horror film when I say that. I can't even remember. It might be Basket Case or something. Right. Basic land, plains. You've traced attentions in 10 towns to the dwindling reindeer populations, but what has been hunting them? Curious. It's a basic plains land. And we're not going to do that with every single one of them, of course. That would be pointless. So we're just going to go all through those plains there. We've got the island ones. And we've got the swamp ones. They're rather beautiful. I like those. Really nice artwork. Oh, let's have a look at these bad boys. Let's do these. Give these guys a quick sleeve. We haven't even seen the legendaries yet. Let's leave it, read these guys out, and then we'll finish up the video. Have a quick look at the token cards and the extra thick commander. Alright, we've got to give this artist credit. Chris Rallis, I believe, is our, what do you call it? I can't remember what they call them now. The foils. Yeah, these two are the foils, I think. If I can pronounce this card. Nihilor, legendary creature, horror. When Nihilor enters the battlefield, for each opponent, tap up to one untapped creature you control. When you do, gain control of the target creature that player controls with power less than or equal to the tapped creature's power for as long as you control Nihilor. Whenever you attack with a creature an opponent owns, you gain 2 life and that player loses 2 life. Wow, there's some complicated mechanics on that. It's quite a complex deck, this, actually. I can see why it came last in that review, but still got a high mark. It's complicated with 3 colours as well. It must be tricky to pull off some powerful moves, but there's some very powerful cards in this deck. You could have some potentially very interesting games with that. We'll see. I'll keep you posted. I might even ask my local game shop if I can film some Commander games one night. We'll see. We're on very good friendly terms with them. They can only say yes or no. Okay. Seraph of the Hidden Ways. Legendary creature, human wizard. Whenever one or more creature cards are put into your graveyard from anywhere, venture into the dungeon. This ability triggers only once for each turn. To venture into the dungeon, enter the first room or advance to the next room. Create undead. Whenever you complete a dungeon, return target creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield. Nice. And Ryan Pancoast, the artist of this legendary creature. Lovely. Right, let me put these lands to one side for a minute. And open up these, all the token cards. Carefully, with my disabled hand. I'm liable to rip right through things without even feeling it. I have to be very careful in situations like this. This is not easy to open, that's got it. Gently does it. There we go. Ooh, come back to me, come back to me, come back to me. Okay. Right, now, there's our extra thick foil commander. Now I want to try and experiment, see if we can double sleeve them. Because I don't think you'll be able to. Ooh, wow. Amazing. He fits in there. Probably never get him out again. No, wow. That's, I'm amazed. Blimey. Let's see if we can double sleeve him. I'd be very impressed with that. Wow. Okay, single sleeve, double thickness commander. See if we can double sleeve you. Moment of truth. Oh, I think it's going to happen, you know. I think it is. It's going to be tight. I think we can do it. Oh, yeah, baby. Who knew you can double sleeve a thick commander? Perfectly. Wow. Thank you, dragon sleeves. That's awesome. Thick commander, regular commander. Lovely. I'm not quite sure what you're supposed to do with your thick commander. I guess they're for those speciality deck boxes where you can have your commander on display. Some of them I think are made for that on purpose. Ooh. Oh, I won't sleeve these here because I've got special sleeves for these. So I'll just show you the cards. You need clear sleeves for these because they're token cards. So they're all double-sided. So we have, I think it's going to be easier picking them all up. We have Illusion. Token creature, Illusion. This creature gets +1/+0 for each other illusion you control. And on the back we have Champion of Wits. Token creature, zombie, naga, wizard. When Champion of Wits enters the battlefield, you may draw cards equal to its power. If you do, discard 2 cards. And we have lots of illusions, but they all have different backs. So we also have zombie token creature. A couple of those. Skeleton token creature. A couple of those. Which leaves us with most interesting cards for last. We have 3 clue artifact tokens. 2 mana sacrifices artifact, draw a card. And on the back of these we have a goblin token creature, a treasure token artifact, sacrifices artifact, have 1 mana of any colour, and a second treasure artifact. And of course, on to the most interesting cards in the deck as far as I'm concerned. I believe there are 2 of these and they're all different in each deck, I think. Don't quote me on that. Oh, that's curious. Okay, the back of one. Oh, there's 3. I thought there was 3. So one's double-sided, right. So we have the last token creature on the back of one of these dungeon cards. The Atropal, token legendary creature, God Horror. Blimey, that's a riff, isn't it? Death touch on 4/4. Wow. Okay, and we have the 3 dungeon cards. Now, so when you get a card that says go into the dungeon, this is what you do. You get a little tiny marker. I've got a baby 6-sided dice I've had for my whole life. I'm going to use that. It's the perfect size. So you go into the top layer of the dungeon, and on this one, this is the Tomb of Annihilation dungeon. So first part of the dungeon, trapped entry. Each player loses 1 life. Very nice. Then you have a choice. You can go into oblique. Is it oblique? Oubliette. Sorry, oubliette. Or oubliette. That's the one. Oubliette. Discard a card and sacrifice a card. No, discard a card and sacrifice an artifact, a creature, and a land. Ooh. Do that, or go through Veils of Fear and Sandfell Cell. Veils of Fear. Each player loses 2 life unless they discard a card. Sandfell Cell. Each player loses 2 life unless they sacrifice an artifact, a creature, or a land. That's better. So you come out of those into the Cradle of the Death God. Creature, the Atropal, a creature, the Atropal, legendary 4/4 Black God Horror creature token with Death Touch. Who is on the back? That's why he's on the back of that card. So you create him on the final stage of the dungeon. But yeah, that dungeon's pretty dangerous even for the player, isn't it? It's curious. So the final card we're going to look at, the last 2 dungeons, we have the Lost Mine of Phandelver, first part of the dungeon, cave entrance, scry 1. And you have a choice between Goblin Lair, create a 1/1 red goblin creature token, or Mine Tunnels, create a treasure token. So if you go for the Mine Tunnels, then you can go through Fungi Cavern. Target creature gets -4, -0 until your next turn. Pretty much kill most creatures on the board, I can imagine with that. Or if you're in Goblin Lair, you can go through the storeroom and put a +1/+1 counter on a target creature to give yourself a bonus. But both those, Goblin Lair and Mine Tunnels, give you the option to go through the Dark Pool instead, where each opponent loses 1 life and you gain 1 life. And when you come out of either 3 of them, you come out finally into the Temple of Dumathoin, where you draw a card. And the final dungeon and the last reading of this video. Dungeon of the Mad Mage, Yawning Portal. You start there and you gain 1 life. That's a good start. I'm liking this dungeon already. Second part of the dungeon, scry 1. Very nice. And then you have a choice between Goblin Bazaar and Twisted Caverns. Goblin Bazaar, create a treasure token. Twisted Caverns, target creature can't attack until your next turn. Lost Level, scry 2 when you come out of both of them. Okay. And then you have a choice between Runestone Caverns and Muriel's Graveyard. Muriel's Graveyard, create 2 1/1 black skeleton creature tokens. Runestone Caverns, exile the top 2 cards of your library. You may play them. And then you come out of either of those into Deep Mines, scry 3, and finally out of Deep Mines into the Mad Wizard's Lair, where you draw 3 cards and reveal them. You may cast 1 of them without paying its mana cost. Thank you for your patience with my first video. Today we have done this deck. Dungeons & Dragons Commander, Dungeons of Death. I hope you enjoyed the video. It's been a pleasure. Until next time, this is the Bard, signing out.